Give us the big finale, Raichu!
Welcome everybody to a brand new Draft League season. We're here for APDL Season 18. I'm your coach, Sauce of the Kalamazoo Raichu, and we're glad to be back here for another draft review. Going off here, new season, new team. We had 50 points here to pick 10 Pokemon out of a tier list, and this season is low tier Pokemon. So I'm just going to go through and give you a little bit of a synopsis of each pick. So let's just dive right into it. Round one, you can see it. We picked up Brambleghast. Now, I don't know why I picked up a 5-point Pokemon in round one, but I just thought, you know, stats are pretty good. He's got a nice, respectable attack, base 90 speed, nothing to, you know, laugh at, and Ghost Grass, which I figured, you know, some good ground resist and a spin blocker. Now, while Wind Rider, I thought this thing learned Tailwind. Turns out it doesn't, but at least it's some good defense against like Hurricane, Heat Wave, things like that. We also have Infiltrator, which is super good. Now, a couple of items I'd maybe want to run with Brambleghast here, as, you know, Colbert Berry, very good. Heavy Duty Boots is super amazing, you know, in case it wants to come in, not take the chip from, say, Toxic Spikes or Spikes. And, you know, it does have Rapid Spin, and so we're loving that. Strength Sap is just such a great move to have, and so figured that the combination of these two, along with, like, Spikes, this thing just has a lot of unique ability or moves, as well as just its typing. I thought it was just a unique Pokemon within the whole of the tier list, and figured I wanted to grab this before someone else could. So that is our round one pick. So super stoked to have Brambleghast start off the Kalamazoo Raichu. Next up, round two, we're hitting heavy. We went for our tier one pick right off the back with Talonflame. Now, in the low tier here, I've been seeing that there's just a bunch of weather setters. Like, we have Ludicolo and stuff in the rain. We just have like Ninetales and other annoying sun, rock, sandstorm. Like, there's so many weather setters in the low tier, like Abomasnow, things like that. And it just, I don't know. I wanted to be able to, you know, in rain or shine, be able to use like Hurricane and or Flare Blitzes, just go off like that. And, you know, Fire, Flying, pretty great typing, to be honest. I mean, we're going to have to run like Heavy Duty Boots, but that 126 speed, we really needed some speed in this low tier. There's not a lot of fast Pokemon, to be honest, and so wanted to really pick this up. And I think it complements Brambleghast really well with Fire, Flying, Flame Body, and Gale Wings. Just two great abilities. You know, priority flying attacks for the defog, things like that, and or just getting burns, which is really cool if you want to run a defensive set. We will probably have to run Heavy Duty Boots on this thing quite a bit. And or, you know, maybe we just think about like a choice band or something, right? Like get Gale Wings, get a dual wing beat off. You know, that's one of his great stab abilities. Of course, defog. There's not a lot of really prime hazard removal in this here, so I wanted to get those early and out of the way. So I now have a Rapid Spinner and a defogger. And then finally, U-turn, just like really good pivot. I need just like something that can stand in and just be a nice speedy utility. So I thought, you know, we're spending a little bit of points here. We only have 35 points remaining, but Talonflame just seemed like a really good, strong pick. So those two are starting off the team. Now we're running right away round 3, 8 points with Gastrodon. You can see here, we got ourselves the nice Fire, Water, Grass core right off the bat. And, you know, all three of these Pokemon I've never used in a draft team yet. So I'm super excited for that aspect. It's got a beefy, bulky HP stat and some decent stats all around. And these abilities are just fantastic. Like, Sticky Hold, it's really underrated ability. Figured that we could use this to, like, have an Assault Vest maybe, Leftovers. Just good items all around. Storm Drain here for that nice water immunity to help out Talonflame, things like that. Not sure if we'll be using Sandforce that much, but it's funny. And again, Stealth Rocks. Needed a Stealth Rocker, figured it was good. We have Stab, Special, Earth Power. I feel like Earth Power is just a super underrated attack. there's not a lot of special ground attacks, and the Pokemon that use special ground, it's hard to come by, so I figured it was really great to pick up Gastrodon here. Its typing is fantastic, and then finally Clear Smog is just a nice little utility check to clear out any errant sweepers trying to set up here. So really happy with Gastrodon here in the 3rd round. We have a Firewater Grass Core, and we got some nice hazard setting, some good bulk, some good utility, special and physical offense. I'm super stoked with our first 3 picks here. 27 points remaining, and we have 7 picks to go. So let's see. 4th up here, we have Vrburai. Now, for 7 points, we're slowly dwindling out of points here, but I wanted to try out the big giraffe. I thought about using its pre-evolution giraffe rig, as it was 3 points and could have been a Terra Captain, but I've always wanted to use Vrburai and figured that it has a super nice bulky HP stat, as well as some nice special attack, and the psychic utility it brings, as well as a nice ghost resist for Bramblegast. Figured it could be super valuable. Now, it gains access to Sap Sipper, which is very helpful, so I can pair this as a nice defensive core with Gastrodon to cover its 4 times weakness, and, some good items with it. Light Clay, as it learns some screens, Light Screen, Reflect, and Choice Specs could be a nice option, as well as it does gain access to Trick, so that could help hinder, as well as provide some nice offense. So, of course, some nice notable moves it has are the screens. Reflect Light Screen has access to Trick Room in case we want to have some nice speed control. And along with that speed control, it does gain Thunder Wave. So, figured that this was just a nice, bulky unit to try and use within the team. Excited to see how I can use Vrburai as, again, first time ever drafting it to the team. So, really excited about that pick. So with 15 points remaining after this, round 5, we select Tauros, Paldea Combat. Now, looking through, we needed a Dark Resist, so that was one thing for sure. But we wanted some additional speed, so the attack, defense stats, the speed, all over 100, which is fantastic. And then, of course, the Dark Resist, nice Intimidate as well, and gives us just a nice fighting type to just have some good stab with. Nothing wrong with that. So maybe some funny items we can run with this. Rocky Helmet synergizes with Intimidate after the attack drop, gets some nice chip damage. This thing has a nice defense stat. And then maybe we run like a cheeky Starfberry set with Kudchu. Could be pretty fun. Some notable moves that it gets: Raging Bull, stab fighting to get rid of potential opposing screens. Earthquake is just like nice coverage, can't go wrong with a good EQ. And then finally Trailblaze here, additional coverage and chance to set up and start taking games unexpectedly from folks. So round 5, we have our 5 Pokemon here so far. I'm really happy with what the team is looking like, although we only have 15 points remaining, so we're gonna have to be careful and start spending a little less on Pokemon and trying to find those nice budget picks. And speaking of, round 6, we select our first Terra Captain in Glaceon. Glaceon and Tauros Paldea Combat I have had on teams before. They're sort of go-tos, to be honest. I feel like they're very good at what they do. Glaceon here really only has access to Ice Body, but that's okay. Not really going to be using it unless we're against Hail teams. That could be a nice little bonus. But 130 in its special attack, we can really abuse that with choice specs. Heavy duty boots to come in initially with the ice typing and then get a nice Terra off. 130 base special attack with Freeze Dry, criminal. So that's just ridiculously good. It has access to Wish, which we can use, which it has nice defense stats as well. And then finally, maybe we run a little Assault Vest stat with this. Mirror Coat it. It has a nice special defense stat. I'm thinking that this could catch some people off guard. Really happy to have Glaceon as a Terra Captain here. And as our 6th pick for 2 points, very happy with it. Muck is our 7th pick here for 4 points. Really, really good here. As you can see by the abilities, which were spoiled, for 4 points, we have a nice sticky hold user as well. So we have both Gastrodon and Muck as Sticky Hold potential users. If we have Bramblegast in, we can bait a knockoff and then perhaps go into Muck or Gastrodon, have that Sticky Hold, maybe have a Rocky Helmet on it, things like that, or we can rock an Assault Vest that won't get off. Either way, Black Sludge, Assault Vest, just 2 good items with it, and of course, Poison Touch for that additional status that we could try and spread. Very good. I chose Mucks because grounded poison types are always key in Draft League, as it gains access to Toxic Spikes as well, which is nice. Knockoff is just so good as a utility option. And then finally, Memento is a move that it learns, which can be pretty useful in some situations to maybe get some residual chip off and then just say sayonara for a sweeper of mine to start setting up. Very happy with Muck here. We have 9 points remaining for 3 picks, so let's see what we can do to round out the team. And with that, in round 8, we're picking up Sliggoo. Sliggoo Hisui. Now, this thing has some ridiculously good abilities. Sorry, not ridiculously good abilities, ridiculously good defenses. Its abilities are okay. It has Sap Sipper again, which is pretty decent for the Gastrodon, although this does 4 times resist it anyways, but still, it's nice to have that. And as well as Jkkayy. Shell Armor is pretty good for the no crits. Maybe we start setting up with that. Jkkayy is just nice to have some speed control. And, you know, maybe we run like a cheeky eject button or something and use this as a nice Jkkayy pivot. But we have Eviolite here, which will just make this thing super tanky. And the coverage it gets could be used alongside Expert Belt here as an option. So some notable moves that it has that I probably will use for Shelter to raise its defenses and maybe Evasion, I'm not sure. Acid Spray here is just a nice utility move to lower their special defense. And then finally it gains nice coverage such as Ice Beam, which is something that can never go unnoticed. So for 2 points here, thought about making this a Terra Captain, but I have 1 pick remaining in the last 2 that I figured should be a better option. So for 6 points here, we spend all but 1 to get Persian Alola. Never used Persian, and I needed some more speed. Figured I could have a pure dark type here with, you know, Fur Coat being a nice ability to double its defenses. So a super speedy yet deceptively bulky Pokemon here. Thought it could be super fun to, you know, be immune to Prankster and also have a nice other Dark Resist as well as Psychic immunity, which could be nice across the team. Now, Technician and Rattled, pretty sweet abilities as well. So we can either be tanky with the Fur Coat, maybe give it leftovers, or we have Life Orb here, maybe to pair with Technician boosted moves. Foul Play is something that it gains as well. So if we're running a defensive build, Stab Foul Plays will hit very hard. We, of course, get Parting Shot for some nice utility pivot. And then finally, Amnesia, it gains access to. So it could have Fluffy and as well set up with Amnesia. And this thing could be very sticky if people are not careful. So I'm very excited to use Persian this season. I've never used it, so I'm excited to see what plays I can make out with it. And finally, the last Pokemon is Misdreavus. I've drafted Misdreavus in the past, but it's a 1-point Pokemon, and yeah, its stats are whatever, but for 1 point, we get a nice fighting and ground immunity, which will help out our team immensely. You know, the ground immunity for the Sliggoo and Muck, as well as the fighting immunity for our Persian, Sliggoo, things like that. So, you know, Choice Scarf on this thing, it does learn Trick. It's just like a nice base 85 speed, which is nice. And of course, a Violite, you can never go wrong with that. It does gain Trick. It has great coverage in Power Gem. We could give this an Electric Terra type paired with Levitate, as it also gains access to nice electric moves like Thunderbolt. And it does gain Destiny Bond, which is just a nice little tech that we can have in to ensure that we take down something with us. So all in all, that is the team. So let me know what you guys think about that. I'm really excited to see what we can do with the squad. I'm very happy with our draft, and I think that we're going to be doing very well this season. I just have a great feeling about the squad. And yeah, let me know about what you think about the team. if you like some picks, don't like some picks, and maybe some predictions for the season on kill leaders and or the potential, who's going to be a bust, who's going to get traded, things like that. Either way, I'm just super excited to get into another season of draft. Shout out to Ark for hosting another season and all the work that he puts in. So yeah, thank you all so much for listening to me just blab on for a little bit of your day, but I appreciate you all for watching, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the first game and games to come. So thank you so much for watching. Peace out, guys.